spoke a little about.
He was.
Oh yeah, basically I just got back last night from India. I spent a month there at a meditation retreat, and there were a lot of teachings that I learned. It's not a religious thing, but it was just a chance for many people from different parts of the world, different faiths, coming together, learning meditation, learning teachings from this. It's a movement called the Oneness Movement. But I wanted to share with you one of the most interesting things I learned from that experience. And one of the major teachings I learned that I really felt touched me was that life is relationships. We all think about, oh, we have to do this, do that in life, but what does life mean? Really, life is just how we relate to other people, our relationships. And the most important relationships being our relationship to our parents, that really determines how our life proceeds. They used a metaphor that I thought was really effective. They said that if life was a tree, then your relationship with your parents, your mom and your dad would be the root of the tree. And if the root is healthy, everything else in life will, the root is where the water and the nutrients feed the tree. It goes up the trunk to the branches, and you get nice, healthy green leaves, flowers, and then you get fruit. Nice, big, plump fruits. And they said that the relationship with your parents are the most critical thing that pretty much determines the rest of your life. If you have a healthy relationship with both your mother and your father, you can pretty much guarantee that you are going to have a happy life, a successful life, a fruitful life, and it's going to be one that is more easy. And then it's really interesting how they explain the relationship with the mother and the relationship with the father. The relationship with the mother determines a person's, whether they have obstacles in their life, in whatever they do, their career, whatever pursuits they have in life. And if you really think about your own personal relationship with your mother, how is it healthy? Do you have a good relationship with your mother? Kind of iffy, kind of whatever. And then really think about where you are in your life, like whether you've had obstacles or whether you've had many challenges that you've had to go through. So that's the mother. And the part that really got me was the relationship with the father. And that actually is directly tied to your financial status, how your relationship is with money. So if your relationship with your father is not that great, whether it's hostile or just plain bad, those kind of people struggle with money. They don't get money. They can work their butt off and still be in a really tight situation with regards to financial things. So that was really interesting. And when I looked at that kind of those concepts, I just thought they really made sense. They really made sense. And the thing about the mother and the father also carries forward to your own children, and also backwards to the generation before your parents, to your grandparents. So one example, they told a story about this really old Indian businessman, and he had built up a big industry, made a lot of money. Not that it was easy or anything, but it was tough throughout his career building his empire. But it was a struggle throughout. And he went to this campus and just kind of expressed his problems. I always have these problems with money. I can never sit still. I'm always worrying about it. And then they asked him, how was your relationship with your father? And he said, it wasn't that great, but it doesn't matter anymore because he's dead. I'm already in my 60s. My father is long dead, so it doesn't matter, it's in the past. But then the guy said, that's not true, it does matter. Because your relationship it's with another person, it's really inside of yourself. Because when you think back to your father, certain memories come up, certain emotions come up. And it's the inside, that memory of your father that is really your relationship. So the suggestion he offered this businessman, the guys offered this businessman was to try to heal that relationship by having a better relationship with his son and with his grandchildren. And it's no surprise that his own relationship with his son and grandson was also kind of distant. It wasn't as bad as his father's, but there was a certain distance there. He didn't feel close to them. He couldn't really talk to them. So the guides offered an interesting suggestion, which was, he told him to, buy an ice cream, then take your grandson, and you guys go sit under the table. And he thought that was like, what are we talking about? This sounds really weird. But he just told him to do that. And this businessman really trusted these guys, and they had a good reputation in India for helping people, and doing miracles and all that stuff. So he did that. He would buy an ice cream and sit with his grandson under the table, and his grandson was like, oh yeah, loved it. But the point of that exercise for him was it helped him to develop a relationship with his grandson, and also bring him back to him feeling of a child, to bring out the child within him. So over a period of time, he became really close to his grandson. He was really happy, and he also noticed that his relationship with his own son also improved. And eventually, his own personal relationship with his father, who was already dead, had healed. And very shortly after that, his own career as a business person, the different businesses and industries that he ran, all the financial, struggles that they were in, suddenly just all improved. So this was, it's a very real thing that you can call it an experiment, you can call it like, a testimonial. But this was a great example of how healing a relationship with one's parent really has a direct effect on his or her own life. So that was one of the major teachings I took that I just felt was it made so much sense. It made so much sense because for a person to have a good foundation in life, everything is solid. They will have less struggles. They will have less problems. And I think the most important thing is they will be more happy, a more balanced person. Because you look at our society, so many couples get divorced, and you look at the children who grow up, what kind of situation are they in? I mean, you can see for yourself. So I think a happy person, a happy society really starts with a happy family. And that begins with one's own parents. Having a good, healthy, positive, and just fun relationship with your parents. And I think it's never too late. Even if your parents are dead, what is that relationship in here? How do you relate to them in the past? And really healing that is so important. And you'll see, if you just try it, I don't know how your relationships are with your parents, but set them right, and I think everything else in your life will follow. Less obstacles, money will come, and you'll just be happy. And I think that's what